Hi, Steven. What up, Break Nash? That joke never gets old. Saying hi to myself. Happy Friday.
It's kind of old.
It never does. Not to me and not to our fans. They love it. That's what they come here for. Friends, fans of the show, friends of the show.
Friends of the show. Oh.
Cam is tired this morning.
Hey, chat, say something to me. Make sure the chat works. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Chat, are you here? Is
Good
Champ
morning.
there?
Is Champ there? Hey, Tin. Good morning.
Good morning. We are live. We have a lot to talk about today.
Boobs.
Whoa, I know that guy.
Hello, chat. How are you? It's good to see you. Doing well. Jesus, I am just.
He's rough this morning.
Man, it's been a tough week there, gang. Got home from Toronto and I have not yet had a day off. So I'm very tired. It's been a long week. Long week for me. Long week for you.
Thank you, Cam.
Dude, one more time? Dude, it slides so good.
Until it doesn't.
It slides so good.
Hey, second Terra Frank's old. 650.
650, huh?
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be lucky and to not have to buy one.
I'm so glad to not care about having one. Couldn't care less.
Good to be lucky. All right. Am I going to get the shakes in an hour because I haven't eaten? Yes, but I need this energy for you, Break Nash.
It's the Break Nash. It's all for you. It's all for you, Damien. You know, I didn't do anything for Halloween, and
It's Halloween.
it was, and now it's not, but it is today still for us because I'm gonna keep referencing horror movies.
The second ring has not disclosed the price. Interesting.
Someone asked and then reacted with 100%. So
I see. Who sold it?
Sugar Brown Bear.
Don't know. Dead to me. Chad, how do you spell Nash?
Yeah.
If you were to abbreviate nation, how would you spell it?
Yeah, that's true.
Because I feel like I want to spell it Nash, but that's just not
Naish.
Nash.
Does that work?
I don't know.
Or like
maybe
Naiche?
Nash. Yeah. Nash with an I. Yeah, I just I gave a cop out. I just posted nation, but
Break Nash.
got a lot to talk about today, Nash. We got the product sheet. We got some announcements to talk about. We got some lore to talk about. Lots of stuff.
Can't wait to read you the lore.
I don't.
What? I'm just saying, read the lore.
Ooh.
Ooh, brother. Ooh.
Yeah, lore's good.
I love lore. I love Lamp.
Lamp?
I hate Lamp, actually.
What is happening? Are you high today?
Lamp is too bright today.
Oh, this lamp. Yeah. Oh, God. It's like when there's somebody in the room that you don't want to talk to, but you like know that they're looking at you, right? So you have to try your best not to make eye contact.
But then you look
and then
up
you
and
go,
make,
oh, God.
no. Why did I do it?
Yeah. So that's what the
Or like
what the light is.
It's like you go to an event or something and like you see someone from high school. And you're like, God, I hope they don't notice me.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
And then you like look up and they're staring daggers at you. And you're like, damn it! Now they're gonna come over.
Yep.
That's how
It's
I
like
feel.
that. That's how we feel right now. Look, squinting. It's like staring into the sun. But damn, do we look good and pasty as we are.
Hey, Cam.
Hi.
I got a question for you.
Hi.
It pertains to this pasty comment.
Yeah, you're pasty.
You also have a D vitamin deficiency.
Yes, sir.
From not going out in the sun.
Yeah, you think I go outside? What a joke.
Woo! Take them vitamins.
Couldn't be me. Oh, I don't take my vitamins. That's probably why I'm so depressed, you know?
I can tell you
Vitamin D deficiency.
I can tell you this. Taking it does not help. Hey, welcome.
But hey, we're not depressed this week, other than being back from vacation is depressing, but lots of fun things to talk about.
I know you do. Imperio. Are you gracing us with your presence today at Locals?
I believe he is. I believe that is true. True W, as the kids say.
What are you doing?
Just
oh, I was on the
checking.
Instagram reel. Did you see that?
You were. I saw a frame of your face as it
like,
passed over you.
But it was like super close up, and I was like, I don't like that.
If any,
and then of course,
yeah.
Of course, of all the people at our Locals that is also in that video, it's Devin doing a fucking backflip.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact opposite. If you guys see that Instagram reel and you see that clown doing a backflip in the video, we don't know him. We've never met him.
Dude, it's so cringe. He like does the
He
point.
Did the point. Yes, he is like that all the time.
Yeah, he doesn't turn it off. It's not an act.
Yeah, that video was really good.
50,000 units of D.
Yeah, Yeah, it was real potent. I literally made an Instagram account because I saw people talking about that Instagram post, and I didn't post it on like Twitter, and so they finally got me to make an Instagram account and go watch it. And it was worth it to see Devin do the stupid backflip and the fucking the finger gun point at the camera. So fucking stupid. Oh, what a guy.
God,
what
I
a
love
guy.
that, man.
What a guy. We'll see him tonight. And if you ask him to do a backflip, he will. That's the best thing that you guys can get out of us, like streaming Locals or something, is that any time that there's a camera pointed at Devin, if you ask him to do a backflip, he'll do it.
Yeah.
And eventually,
he'll also do like any physical activity Devin will do.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be like, hey Devin, do a handstand real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll just get up from his match and do a handstand.
Yep, he will do it. All right, so we kind of have a lot to talk about, Chad. I wanted to make sure that we get, enough time for people to like filter in here or whatever.
That's even cursed. I didn't. He was.
Oh, yeah, sure.
He wasn't
surely not.
asked. He
was doing
it.
an interview, and he was like, "Hey, do you want me to do a backflip?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, that's sick." And so he monopolized their interview time by doing a backflip. And then
that's so funny.
He had them reshoot his interview because he didn't like how he looked on camera, so he had them shoot it again. Yeah, that's our boy. That's our boy. He's always thinking about his image, and that is important.
Yeah.
Steve and I are never thinking about our image. So,
well, we're thinking about our image in a different context. It's never just about our physical.
About doing a
appearance.
backflip.
Right.
I'm always thinking about doing a backflip.
Surely I could never do a backflip. However, I could roll around on the ground like a child if you would like that.
I would. What up? Yeah,
what's going on?
I want you to roll around on the
Like,
floor.
I want lunch. I didn't like it either. I did it. I didn't like it either. I didn't like it. I immediately didn't like it. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
You ready to game, Steven?
Gaming.
We got a lot to talk about, so we're going to get started pretty promptly because we have a lot to talk about. It's probably going to be a long show today. Steven, I'm going to pull up some stuff. I guess we'll start with announcements. Before we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do the honors?
Yeah. Shout out to Superhuman. If you ever want to be on the show, if you ever want an interview or anything, please reach out to us. We would love to collab with you. Yeah, and the only other thing I have to say is whoop whoop, fuck this shit.
Whoop whoop, fuck this shit. Nice. Well done.
Yeah. It's for us. Yeah.
Whoop whoop. No, it's for him.
It's for him.
Not for us.
It is for him.
It's for him, bro.
It's always for him.
All right. So we'll start. Here's what I'm thinking, Steve. We'll start with announcements. Then we'll do the product sheet.
Yeah.
And then while we're doing the product sheet, I say we ignore the lore. and we talk about all the products and stuff,
That's tough.
and then we do the lore at the end.
That's so tough for me. But okay, I agree.
Because I think the lore will be, more in depth.
And if we run over time, we can push lore for next week.
right, that's our plan. But we won't. We got like an hour. And you guys will be fine. We're good at banging it out. Me and Steve always banging.
Oh God.
Come for the GA, stay for the what does that say?
I don't know. Fits?
Fits?
Does that say fits?
We do have fits a lot. If you mean like the hissy fits,
Yeah.
like Steven having his hissy fit.
Yeah.
True.
Fair. and true.
Sisyphist. All right. It's gaming time. And by that I mean
Oh, fuck this
podcasting
shit.
time.
Fuck this shit.
Oh, come for the fuck
FTS,
this shit.
yeah.
The FTS, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know?
Can we steal that a bit from that guy? That feels so disingenuous,
What?
you know?
Fuck this shit.
Yeah, we get the FTS shirts, Lineage Break FTS.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like actually stolen from that guy. What a break dish. Oh, we had the unfortunate what's the opposite of a privilege? Punishment to interview Theo while we were in in Toronto.
So the man himself is here.
Yeah. Which one?
Theo.
Yeah. He's
Theo.
alright.
How
Hi,
would
Theo.
you spell Naish if we wanted to
that's
say
fair.
break Naish? Is it like Naish? Is that how you would do it? We were trying to figure it out this morning. We couldn't, so we both just cowered it up.
We copped out. Naish, sort of like niche, but with an A. Break
That's
Naish.
that was
It's a bit of a voulez-vous français going on,
Yeah.
I don't know why I did the Italian.
Yeah, I don't
hands
know
for
either, but that
voulez-vous. Naish, like horses.
that's
like
not
horse
what I will
themed?
never do that.
Naish. That's pretty good. You're a loser if you say Naish. That is how it's spelled, though. Was that like, can you use it in a sentence?
Yeah.
That's what we got. Can you use it in a sentence? All right.
It's
Great.
tough because my cousin's name is Kelly, but it's spelled like that.
No, it's Kelly.
Yeah.
That's so tough. Shout out to Kelly. It's hurting my brain.
Oh God,
I feel
no,
like I'm having a
please.
stroke.
Oh, it's just gotten worse.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do it. Let's rumble. Are you ready to rumble? Is Champ there?
Is Champ there?
Yeah, and he'll be there this Sunday
Do
night.
you support the troops?
A local Marine. All right, it's time. I'm doing it. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Lineage Break, a Grand Archive TCG podcast. I am your host, Cam. With me, as always, is Steven. Hi, Steven.
Hi, Cameron.
Hey, Steven. How you doing? Welcome back to Dirty Worcester, because we spent a weekend in clean Worcester, and now we're back to Dirty Worcester.
I would like to interject.
Defend Worcester, Massachusetts.
No.
Okay.
I would like to defend Toronto.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's quiet, too.
It was nice. However, it was very dirty, actually. If you looked
yeah?
under the underpasses, it was just Worcester. It was a lot of trash, like lots and lots of trash.
Quiet Worcester, then.
It was quiet.
It was very quiet.
It was quiet, and the lovely homeless population up there does not accost you when you walk by.
That's true.
them.
Nobody asked me for change.
No,
It's,
no. There was no panhandling.
I didn't really see very many homeless people.
You
I
just
saw like
weren't-
a couple.
You just weren't looking.
Is that true? I saw
Yeah.
like a couple.
Yeah.
But, anyways, it was lovely. We had a lovely time.
It was
in Toronto.
great. It was great.
It reminded us of home, but quieter and full of less assholes. Yeah, you have some bad experiences in Toronto
they're not
with the
bad.
locals.
Not bad, but like every single one of those Ubers we got in was terrible.
Yeah, but like yeah. Living in Massachusetts and like Boston specifically
Right.
is like if our Uber drivers are just on the street and accosting you when you don't have to interact with them.
Correct.
So like we didn't have any of that.
Yeah, we never got accosted.
Just the ones that we asked for when we paid them money. And
Right.
we got in their car and then they accosted us about gun violence,
but in the opposite
you guys
direction.
like guns down there in America?
Yeah,
It's
just like the opposite direction.
Sure, whatever. Anyways, we're back from Toronto. We're back here in beautiful Massachusetts. And you know what? The leaves are off the trees. The Carhartts are on.
It's 80 degrees
It's like
out today.
hot as shit outside. I was so upset. It's like November 1st. There's no leaves on the trees. Get those beautiful autumnal colors. And it's like 75. Like what?
Yeah.
If I wanted 75 degrees, I would go live in like California. and
Right.
Fall into
Where's
the
our
sea.
40-degree autumn days?
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Come on.
That's what I'm saying. But great news today.
Lots of news.
We'll go over the great news later, and you know what it is. But lots of news to talk about. With I think looking back on Chicago, Singapore. Looking back on Singapore was our most recent trip. Besides,
right? Yep.
Toronto. The Singapore keynote sucked. It's like very little to talk about. It's like right before AMB came out. Not a whole lot of newsy news. However, the Toronto keynote rips.
It went so
like
hard.
So much.
It went so hard.
So great. Lots of things to talk about. New set to talk about. New formats to talk about. New ban lists to talk about. So much stuff. So we're going to spend today going over our announcements for Toronto, going over the product sheet for Abyssal Heaven. Almost didn't have it there.
Abyssal Heaven.
And then
That's
we're
not
talk about
Heavy Nights.
some lore for Abyssal Heaven as well, because we have some lore to talk about. So yeah, that's the plan. So here is our plan as outlined to Steven before the show and now outlined to you on the show. We're going to talk about the announcements. Then we're going to talk about the product sheet. When we talk about the product sheet, we're going to ignore the lore.
No lore.
Until the end, and then we'll
throw
talk
the
about
lore
at the end.
to the side. But we don't, because it's the most important.
Yeah, it's the most important part, so we save it for last. All right, so before we get into announcements, Steven, we went to Toronto, and for once, we both played in the event. So
Yeah.
we can talk a little bit about our Toronto experience. We can talk a little bit about the community's Toronto experience. What a cool keynote for an event that we were in attendance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations to one Matt G. You deserve it.
You did deserve it. Finally, you got his spirit, right?
No, he got one in Ontario.
Oh,
as
he did.
Well,
But he got his first place one.
no, he won Ontario.
Oh,
Yeah,
did he?
yeah.
Oh.
But he got his revenge after Chicago, which got second place.
Okay, fair.
So this is the second one. This is that makes Matt G our second two-timer, right? It's just Matt G and Cabin now, I believe.
Yeah, yep.
That are two-time Ascent winners. So congratulations to Matt G for suffering through that miserable format that we'll talk about now. So
Miserable? I thought everyone had a great time.
anybody who was not in attendance for Toronto, this is like going to be, I think, such a strange like point in time in Grand Archive, because you hear so much about in like other games. We're Magic players, so we like use that as a barometer. Sorry. We used to be Magic players, so we use that as a barometer. But it happens in other games as well. You hear about these like Omega cursed formats that all get some sort of like colloquial name from the community. Eldrazi Winter is the one that comes to mind, right? And so I think this is going to be like a really weird time in Grand Archive where legal for exactly 2 weeks, right? Because it was 2 weeks after AMB, and no real events other than Toronto. We had like a couple of Yeti weeklies, but no other real events as far as I know. Had this Vanitas Razorgale deck legal, and so anybody who did not follow the story of the weekend, this Wind Vanitas Razorgale deck was the deck of the weekend. It had some odd, I think, 30 or 40 people playing it in the main event of 200 players. Day 2 conversion was 23 out of 32 Vanitas players, and then top 8 conversion was 7 out of 8 Vanitas players. Technically, I believe one of those was a Kongming player, but the deck was virtually the same. Awful. Absolutely awful. And the untimed top 8 rounds, the first one took like an hour and a half, and so we had hope.
Yeah.
We were like, that's not so bad. It's like obviously overtime, but it's untimed. Hour and a half's okay. And then the semifinals took 2.5 hours, and it took so long that they decided to do the keynote during the finals.
Yeah.
So we're often claimed to be Weebs of the Shore sycophants, and we are for the most part, but holy shit, did that suck. Thankfully, for better or for worse, Steven and I did not do particularly well enough to have to deal with the Vanitas deck. So somehow, did you play it all weekend?
I did. I played it exactly one time.
Oh, okay.
Do you know who I played it?
No.
I played Cabin.
Cabin playing.
I was just like,
it's a little tough.
Yeah, I was like, huh. It's like it was 2-1 going into round 4. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. And then I like looked at my pairings and I went, oh no. I'm not gonna win this.
Yeah.
It was a good game though.
It's tough. We love Caben. Yeah, somehow I played 5 rounds in Ascent and then 7 rounds on day 2 in the Scrubbed Out event. I played 0. 12 rounds, I played 0 Vanitas stacks. I'm counting my lucky stars. Thank you, God. So we played plenty of it before the weekend. It's not like this blindsided us. We knew this deck was going to be there. It was way higher represented than I would have expected.
It's like every competitive team was on it.
Yeah, I expected it to be like maybe 10-15% of the room, but it was a lot more than that. Every competitive team was playing it. I think some of the builds of the deck were not exactly what I had seen coming, right? Because the build that we had seen locally was a little bit different than what like TCG ended up on and what TCG ended up on. Whichever.
True Cactus was so funny.
Cactus Gaming.
I don't know if
on stream you mean?
Yeah, it was True Cactus True Champion Gaming versus True Cactus. I don't think there is a funnier meme that could have ever existed.
It was very good. And shout out to Cactus and as well for making top 4. I think Ryan made top 4, which is great. A sufferer, you suffer through to get your top 4 placement. And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't give big ups to Mark and Tex from our locals for making top 32.
Yep. You guys did great.
Congratulations.
Next time you'll get there.
So that's how it went. Steve and I scrubbed out.
Oh, dude. Day 2.
Yeah.
I won. I was 2 and was it 7 rounds?
Mm-hmm.
So I was 2 and 13.
Like games?
Games, yeah.
2 and 13.
2 and 13.
Games.
Yeah.
It's a little tough.
Yeah, it was. I was having a really, really bad day.
Yeah.
All day.
Hey, it happens sometimes.
Ooh, boy.
Just that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
But
I did get that nice, sick round 7 bye. So got
woo wee. You get the backs for that too.
Huh?
You get the packs for that? Yeah, we love that.
Yeah, that's why I was
Free
like,
packs,
sick. Free packs. I got literally nothing out of the 6 packs I opened.
Mm-hmm.
Just nothing.
My pack luck was pretty bad as well. Got a couple of. I can't even remember. I opened a foil Icebound Slime. I guess that was pretty good.
Yeah. I
opened a foil Vampiric Slime and I assumed that was good, but it's like not really.
Yeah. You got the foil Guan Yu?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, if I can get somebody to buy my goddamn foil Guan Yu, please, dear God.
Yeah. And then
a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a pretty good day on day 2. Made 3rd in the Scrubbed Out event.
Yeah, and I think collectively our locals opened 5 CSRs out of packs.
Yeah. Not us, but our locals.
Our locals, yeah.
So good job, guys.
So happy about you guys.
We're so happy. All right, so Toronto aside, at the end of the weekend, let's start off with we got the real-time ban list update on Sunday night. Still did say something interesting, which I think is cool, that he said going forward, seeing as the ban list announcement is always on the Monday after these big events, so we'll have another one the Monday after Santa Clara, they're just going to start giving us the ban list during the keynote. So going forward, we will get the ban list update during the keynote, which I think is pretty cool. The crowd erupted in applause as we got the 3 visits errata. Woo, we fixed it. And so I think that's why this tournament will go down as such a cursed moment in history, that this Vanitas deck that was so appalling that has had the highest conversion rate of any deck. Even you Slimes Doomsayers, this was a higher conversion rate than Slimes. The second place is the 6 copies of Slimes in Chicago, but 7 Razorgale decks does take the cake. And I think with the 3 visits errata, so now when you cast 3 visits, it is an additional cost to rest your champion and to get 3 visits text, so you can't just machine gun it for Razorgale triggers. I think does make the Vanitas deck probably pretty bad. I think you can still play it. Bad is maybe an overstatement. I think it's probably still a fine deck, but it is nowhere near going to be this tier 0 monster.
You pop your safeguard. I'm going to cast 3 visits 18 times and you die.
Right. Yeah, because You can interact with the deck. I don't think that the problem, like my problem with the Vanitas deck, is that it's uninteractable, because it is interactable. You do have to pack hate for it. But if you do, it's like a very winnable matchup, and this was with 3 visits being like Omega cursed. So I think it's sort of going to fit into that erupting place where if people are packing enough hate for it, it's like going to be hated out of the format. But like maybe if people stop packing hate for it, it can like sort of sneak in and steal a tournament, because it's still okay. But yeah, so the 3 visits errata, I think nerfs Eldrazi pretty bad, and we won't see it at the next tournament, which is great. And most notably, does not hurt the fair decks, Arisana, that we're playing 3 visits for its text. We also saw Baby Gray Slime get moved to Category 2 from 0, so they moved it all the way up to Category 2. Right? It wasn't on Cat 1 before. They just put it straight to 2.
Yep.
A lot of these Vanitas decks were splashing Baby Gray Slime and Baby Green Slime for this sort of...
and Slime Shields.
Like recursive engine with reclaims and escape the wreckages and stuff. I saw one deck running Camelot to cast 3 visits. Camelot, flicker your Baby Green Slime to flicker your Baby Gray Slime. It's just all very stupid, and so they said that we are putting Baby Gray at Category 2 because it's a little bit too splashable. They want it to be predominantly for the Slimes player, and they don't think that it's an overpowered card in Slimes particularly, but it is a little bit overpowered when you splash it into decks like Vanitas. I wouldn't be surprised to see Baby Gray get the hammer pretty soon, regardless of its... performance. I would be pretty surprised if we didn't see it banned after Santa Clara.
Yeah. And surprisingly, we got a new Proxy's Vault card.
Woo! Sort of. Sorry, go ahead.
So we have a card called Nullifying Mirror coming to Proxy's Vault. It's a 0-cost Regalia item cleric accessory. You can rest it until end of turn. Cards in target opponent's memory are norm element.
I think this card's really good. How do you feel, Steve?
I really like this card. I think this adds a lot of play to decks that usually didn't see it, right? Like, you can't just like go to kill and then get blown out by Veiling Breeze now. And
yeah, I think it's mostly exclusively for Veiling Breeze. It does have some like other niche applications, but it is nice to have some sort of way to interact with just like absurdly powerful cards like Veiling Breeze, right? Like Veiling Breeze is worded the way that it is because it has a downside, but in the decks that it fits into, these like cheap interactive win decks, it ends up being like pretty oppressive, especially for the aggressive decks. And we saw this weekend as a sort of floodgate for these control decks that can just use this to shut off whatever you want. Right. So yeah, I think Nullifying Mirror is pretty huge. I think it'll be fairly ubiquitous, sort of like Lantern was a few formats ago. Lantern has sort of shifted out of relevancy. There's only a couple of decks that really get hit by Lantern, and so we've seen people stop sideboarding it. But I think Nullifying Mirror will definitely make some big waves. As Mark says in the chat, it also works on Prismatic Edge. There's some niche applications. It sort of works on Xander. I'm actually like really excited how this interacts with Xander. As somebody who also plays a control deck predominantly, this does stop Xander from making you put cards down. It doesn't stop his reveal triggers, but it does stop reveal X Luxem cards, put that many cards from your hand into your memory.
Veiling Breeze does say reveal.
Yes.
So I just off the top of my head had a cute thing. You respond to their Veiling Breeze with Mirror, and then they just show you 4 Luxem sites, and you just heal 12 because it's
Luxem site. Yeah, that's how they get you.
She's like, gotcha anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this card's pretty good. The only reason I said it is sort of like a Proxy's Vault card is this is a card from Abyssal Heaven. And so it is only going to be on Proxy's Vault until Abyssal Heaven releases, and then it will be removed from Proxy's Vault because it is a real card that you can get in Abyssal Heaven.
I see.
So they're doing the ironically, they're doing the Nullifying Lantern thing with Nullifying Mirror where they're pushing it forward. So I think that's very neat. One last thing to talk about in regards to Proxy's Vault is they have changed the Proxy's Vault policy. where beforehand the deal with Proxy's Vault was going to be they are proxyable cards up until a year after their printed release date, so that you would have to sort of go out of your way and find these physical versions of the cards, because it was assumed at the time that the physical cards would not be terribly hard to get. They'd be pretty ubiquitous, but we have seen even with them being at all of the regionals, all of the ascents, it's still pretty hard for people to get these cards, and they do sort of carry a price. Usually these Proxy's Vault packs go for $50, which is pretty absurd for a card that's supposed to be free. So they have changed that to Proxy's Vaults can be proxied indefinitely, so you only have to worry about getting the physical card if you're somebody that wants that physical card. Otherwise, you can proxy it indefinitely. But that also means it's a huge up for artists that do Proxy's Vault, like alters and stuff. We're big fans of Lucky Yuki, who does Proxy's Vault stuff all the time. And so you can just use those in perpetuity. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. So next on our docket, we have some Ascent announcements.
Yeah.
We got the announcement for the Ascent in both March and April. This is leading up to national season. We don't know where any of our nationals are yet, nor do we know where Worlds is. I assume we'll probably see that in December, but we did get to see the next two Ascents. Ascent March will be Ascent Seattle, March 2025, so that's exciting. It's exciting. We're going to try to make it. It is kind of super cursed that it's two back-to-back West Coast events.
Yep.
We go from Santa Clara to Seattle. There are people on the other side of the country. Hello. Hopefully we get to see you someday. But regardless, Steve and I will try to make it to Seattle. For me, it sort of depends where Nationals and Worlds are. If Worlds is in, Spain or whatever, it's going to be, you're going to have to save up for some travel. So hopefully we see those sooner rather than later. We also have Ascent Kuala Lumpur. It's going to be in April. We will
not be there,
but congratulations to you guys. That is cool to see. Some obviously global support is great. We need more SEA events, and the community is so huge over there that it is great to see more Ascents in that area of the world. Next, we got our next deck box announced. Woo!
It's Kongming.
It's Kongming for the first time ever. I think my character's getting 2 different deck boxes because we like Kongming. She's cute. This is her CUR art on the deck box.
He says his girl, but you just wait, chat.
Not anymore. We'll talk about the divine intervention that has fallen upon me, and I always have to look to. I'm not a religious man, Stephen, but there is a higher power involved.
You always have to
his
look,
name is Silidar.
Yeah, you always have to look
pulling the strings.
The clerics.
Yes, Kongming, very cute. I'll try to pick one up. It's kind of weird that Tristan was at one event.
Yeah.
Period. It was at AX, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
And so, where are those Tristan deck boxes hiding? We didn't even really get a chance to buy those. And I talked to Sil about this deck box. He didn't give me an official confirmation, so don't take my word as gospel. But I got the idea that probably we're going to see this Kongming deck box for the next merch day, whenever that happens.
Right.
Maybe soon. Are we overdue? When was the last merch day? It was a while ago,
yeah,
right?
It was. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe a merch day soon. Maybe they'll have both. Who knows? Moving on, a couple more things before we get to Abyssal Heaven, which will be the bulk of our episode today. This is super exciting. I'm omega thrilled, so happy.
As a non-limited player, I have the exact opposite, but I'm excited for the people that like limited.
So for the first time in a very long time, and by that I mean I guess basically forever, since sort of DOA, at Santa Clara, they will be doing Mortal Ambition Draft. For anybody who has a sort of an eye for a limited format, I think it was pretty clear to a lot of people that have played other games, limited formats in the past, that Mortal Ambition seems like it had some sort of nods to being a draftable format. It's a very cohesive set. And so that makes it pretty easy to draft with the exclusion of Bathe in Light and stuff, right? It's a pretty cohesive set. Mm-hmm. And so for the first time in Santa Clara, they are going to be trying out Draft. The way that Draft is going to work for Grand Archive is that there will be these Mortal Ambition draft packs. I think they're like 40 to 50 cards. They're like sort of like a sealed pool. That come with a few exclusive cards. We saw this in the DOA FTC sealed kits. A few exclusive cards that are meant to be for this draft format only, and a like 40 to 50 card sealed pool, which will give you like sort of a barometer of what you want to look at. And then after that, you will draft 3 booster packs, like any sort of traditional trading card game draft, 15 card packs, pass left, pass right, pass left. And the first ever events are going to be at Ascent Santa Clara, which is super exciting. I think Limited is really cool, and if it is done well, which I unfortunately haven't had the experience drafting Grand Archive. I've played a little bit of Sealed, but I haven't had the chance to draft. I think if Limited is done well, it's a very skill testing format, and I've always been a big fan of Limited, so I hope that this goes well. Is a hit, and then hopefully if it is balanced enough and we feel like it's a skill testing enough format, we can see some maybe more premier events for Limited. I think it's really cool. So,
yeah,
very excited to try that out in Santa Clara. If you want to draft with me, let me know, and I will try my best to make some time to hit the draft pods. All right, last but not least,
Alchemical Revolution.
Alter. So smart, Steven.
Yeah,
this guy.
He's a big brain.
Hugest brain.
Big brain.
By that, I mean I got very lucky.
Yeah.
So, Alchemical Revolution is releasing January 10th, 2025. Very soon. Very soon. That's like 2 months.
When's our regionals there?
And hey, if you're looking to play Alchemical Revolution with 20 new cards injected into our standard format, you can find the first regional on the 18th of January.
Whoa, that's after.
In Massachusetts. Weber Games. I believe there's also one in Dallas on that same day. But us.
Weber Games. Marlborough, Massachusetts.
January 18th. New format. Arisana broken.
Arisana already pretty good.
They have confirmed to me, that I know those developers, and they have confirmed to me that all 20 cards in Alchemical Revolution
are cards and not just for Arisana.
will be Arisana cards.
Hey, I do want to shout out. There was an Arisana player, and not just I'm playing Arisana so I can
Cast Razor Gills.
No, the other one. Remove it for
Dustlight Communion.
Dustlight Communion. Someone actually top 32'd with Arisana.
Big shout out to Wyatt. He's Robo on the Discord. If you guys see him in the Arisana chat, kicked my ass in the mirror round 5 of Ascent. He's got a great deck. He's a good player. If you guys are looking for Arisana tips, go hit up Robo. He is our champion, the best of us. So go check out his list. It's up. You can check out the top 32 lists for Ascent. I think those are public.
Yeah.
It's a good list.
I would also reiterate, we mentioned it at the top of the show, but the next set, HVN, is Abyssal Heaven, Abyssal Heaven, and that releases March 7th.
So a little bit delayed is Abyssal Heaven. It was supposed to be the end of February. It got delayed a couple of weeks, they said, due to some production issues. I am hoping, they didn't really elaborate further, and I didn't get a chance to have them elaborate further, but I'm hoping production issues is ramping up production numbers so that we have, hopefully, more stuff. I don't want to get too inside baseball because I never know, especially when I talk to the devs at events like this, what they want me to say and what they don't. So I always try to play it pretty close to the chest. But I did, talk a little bit about that with the devs, and without saying too much, it is possible, I think, for them to print more product. It's just a logistical issue. So I think maybe if they get those logistical issues solved, they can print more product.
Yep.
And everybody's always like, oh, you need more printers. And that is not the case, is all I'll say. So logistics, hopefully we get some more Abyssal Heaven, as, obviously A&B was so popular. And I think this one will be a
big one.
Banger. So we're going to take a look at the Abyssal Heaven product sheet. If you guys want to follow along, you guys can find all of this beautiful information on Merlin's Marketplace in the News and Articles channel. Also, shout out to our friend Mitch. You can also find Merlin's Marketplace now on Twitter, and they post their updates there as well. So it's very helpful if you want to see the highlights from these keynote events. I always look to Mitch to get my highlights, and you can too, both on Discord and on Twitter. So go give them a follow. So, as we said, we are going to ignore the lore for now. We're going to circle back to the lore, which is the top bit, and we're going to talk just a little bit about Abyssal Heaven as a booster set. So, Abyssal Heaven will be a supplemental set. So there's going to be 8 card packs. I think it says that somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it says that.
It says it under product info.
8 randomly inserted cards per pack. There we go. So it's going to be sort of similar to FTC, to MRC. This is our very typical expansion set. However, this is a bit of a monster. There are 213 unique cards in HVN, which I think is much larger than MRC. And it has been noted by the developers that there will be very few reprints. So this is mostly new cards. So probably 200 some odd new cards is pretty crazy. There's going to be 225 foil variations this set. So if we do the math real quick, I don't have it in my brain, so I might have to do the math again real quick, is if we take our 225 foil variations, and then this is a neat trick that you guys can do at home, is they give us the rarity distribution for every set when these product announcements come out, and they tell us how many CSRs there are. There will be a CUR as well, so we're following that trend that there will be yet another CUR. So that means there's going to be 18 collector rares in this set, right? So if we take our 225 foil variations and we subtract 18, that gives us 207 cards, but
there's 213.
There's 213 unique cards.
What are those 5 cards?
We don't know. 6 cards.
6 cards.
So there are 6 cards that don't come foil in the set, is what that means. And I don't know what that means either. When we did this math the last time, I believe it was for...
It was for ALC.
Yeah, it was either ALC or MRC, one of them. And the math worked out that it was only the spirits, right, that didn't come foil, and the Lineage Break champions. But as this is a supplemental set, and there is no altar on the horizon, as they don't do altar printings for supplemental sets. There are no lineage breaks to speak of. I think the most prevailing opinion, as said in chat, is that these are tokens, but they would have to be reprinted tokens that will not be printed in foil, which is interesting. So we'll see. 7 is kind of a lot, so I'm having a hard time thinking of what these 7 tokens will be. Maybe herbs, but I don't assume that Dao Chen will care about herbs. Maybe there'll be some other herb cards in the set. Definitely interesting, something to keep your eye out on. But speaking of interesting, Steven, 17 CSRs.
That's so many.
It's a truckload.
There's so many.
It's like a fucking million, dude.
Yeah. I have no idea.
17? Who knows, man? So we'll talk about them in just a second. But we allegedly have 2 full champion lineages, right? Which would account for 6. There's 11 CSRs and a COR? That's a lot, man. I don't know. That's like kind of crazy. I think this is our highest number yet. Right?
Yeah.
Because I believe that AMB was our highest number yet. And they're at, 14 in a COR? And now, 17 CSRs is like kind of crazy. I don't know. Maybe we'll see some unique rarity stuff. I think that Syl made a post in one of the Discords regarding FTC ornaments. I don't remember exactly what he said. So again, don't take what I say as gospel. And this was public, not to me. That if he said something like, if we had posted about the FTC ornaments in the product sheet, people would have lost their mind. Sort of alluding to maybe there is some sort of bonus rarity in HVN that is not clear from the product sheet. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do believe he said that. So
yeah,
definitely interesting. Looks like MSRP is staying the same for a supplemental set. It's going to be $90 US and $4.50 a pack. So that's sort of, par for the course. Map pricing, same thing, 30% par for the course. Something that has now also become par for the course, Steven.
Recollection decks. We're getting 2 new ones. Bwah, bwah, bwah. So the first one we're getting, surprising no one, is we are getting a tamer, preferably a Luxem tamer.
She's so cute.
In a Gauja, who is Kongming's sister. And then we are getting a Terra Cleric, which is Dao Chen.
Dude, she's so hot. She's
Sona?
Dude, she's so hot.
Ken has a new wife?
Dude, she's so hot.
Didn't even buy
Dude.
CSRs for Kongming. It's just going to buy Dao Chen ones?
It was great. I was, like I said, there was a divine intervention on my Mortal Ambition product where they were like, yeah, you want to play that new mage girl? And I do. I do want to make it clear that I think that Kongming is the coolest champion they've ever made. Like no joke. I think she is she feels the most unique. What I want out of a card or out of a game like this is I want my deck to feel, or my champion rather, to feel like they are the only one that gets to play their playstyle. I really don't like decks that are no offense,
Really?
like allies decks, right? Where it's like, well, I'm playing Lorraine because she's kind of slightly a little bit better than Jin, but they do very similar things, I want the character individuality, and I think that Kongming so far is the character that feels like she has the most individuality. Her mechanics are so inclusive just to her, and a lot of the cards in her pool are based around her specific mechanics. So I really, really like Kongming. However, I'm a cleric player, baby. I'm just, oh man, woo! And she's hot.
I honestly, I want to just preference that I can't wait to see more champions that use masteries and how that comes out.
Mm-hmm. I think masteries are really cool.
Yeah, I think it's a super cool design space.
And I wonder, maybe we'll get a new one. Who knows? So yeah, we have Gauja and the Dao Chen recollection decks. I am so happy that we're getting more recollection decks. I was really worried the last time we talked to them about recollections was right before Sylvie and Tristan came out, and I talked to them in private a little bit about it afterwards, and they were like, it was a pretty hard product for us to design, and so if we design it again in the future, we're gonna have to make some changes, etc. Which sort of gave me the feeling that more recollection decks were farther off than they are. But it looks like we are indeed getting 2 new ones with our supplemental set, and I hope that this is the norm going forward. I think the recollection decks were so huge for getting more people into the game, and I think having more diversity really will help that. I would love, again, hopefully at some point the Weebs pipeline gets big enough that we can see reprints of Sylvie and Tristan. I would love for a new player to be able to come into the store and be like, hey, I'm new to Grand Archive, what should I do? And I say, here, I have this whole suite of recollection decks for you to choose from, whatever flavor you're feeling, whatever character you can associate yourself with, and just grab that and play. So really, really exciting to see these. Unfortunately, Webway Games will not have any Dao Chen recollection decks available. I don't know why. They just decided to not send me any. They're all for me. But yeah, that's very exciting. I was super blindsided by the Dao Chen thing. I feel like my reaction at the keynote was very delayed because I was just so stunned. I was so confident that we were going to get Lubu as champion. And we'll talk about some lore in a second. But Dao Chen really just blindsided me because she is very much not central in the A and B lore. She's on some card art, and so they showed us Dao Chen, and I'm not super familiar with the Romance of the Three Kingdoms lore, and so I didn't know who it was, and I was looking at the image as it's in front of me, at the keynote, and it was is that the Carl and Wisdom's reprise? Wait, she's a cleric. And then they were like, she's a new Terra cleric. And I was like, oh my God. Just very, very excited. Thanks for always making the clerics cute for me. I know you do it for me.
I'm waiting for the old man. Come
on. Fuck him, dude.
Make the broken
Never
cleric
again.
An old man.
I want cleric to be illusionist. No men ever. Thank you. Cool. All right. So, speaking of Dao Chen, speaking of Gauja, let's talk about a little bit of lore. Steven?
Where you want to start?
You want to give us a lore reading? You want to be the lore reader?
I can.
Can you manage the the pronunciation game. It's a tough one out there.
Well, I'll try.
All right.
Don't cancel.
Have you heard of Joe Kwan?
Who?
All right. Anyways,
I get it.
Moving on. Joe Kwan, D's nuts.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't gonna fall for it, Cameron.
Joe Kwan, D's nuts. All right. Hey, let's talk about some lore. I think we start at the top, right? Oh no, you can start with that one. That's smart. Yeah. True.
Abyssal Heaven, Booster Pack.
Booster pack.
As Sanguo falls deeper under the shadow of demonic grimoire, the throne is the least of anyone's concerns. The birth of a new kind of god ignites the greatest clash Sanguo has witnessed, with gods and heroes joining forces to defeat a demigod unlike the world has ever seen. As history is rewritten, which side will we choose?
Dun, 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 dun. Super edgy.
Gotta love
Can't
it.
wait. I'm actually before we give the lore breakdown, I was pretty vocal about this. I think the last time we talked about the lore, that it's like hard for us that don't have that Romance of the Three Kingdoms like background to like sort of speculate, and it was a little bit hard for me to get invested in the A and B lore because it's so like historically driven, right? So like I can't be like, oh, what if this character did this or whatever, because it has like some sort of historical implication, and be like, oh well, that's not exactly what happened. But the story for Abyssal Heaven seems like it's just like taken a straight shot past any sort of relationship to Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and we're just using these characters and doing cool, edgy Grand Archive stuff.
Yeah,
so.
it's sick.
Yeah.
Prophecy. When the first golden rays of sun break upon the land, it will herald the birth of a new era of darkness. Shadows will roam the earth, harvesting souls and paving the way for the rise of a false god yet unknown. Only the one blessed by the celestial light from above the stars shall summon the forces of water, fire, and wind to harness lightning from the heavens to stave off the chaos that threatens to consume our world.
So do we want to like take a paragraph at a time? That's probably better to do. So this is sort of a prophecy that was touched on a little bit in the A&B lore. I think very clearly alluding to Gauja being the like celestial chosen. She's noted in her recollection deck as heaven's favored, so I think it's very clear that this is Gauja that they're talking about, that's going to harness all three elements, sort of like this Avatar-esque figure that's going to use the Shenju, which are these auspicious beasts that are, I think, sort of the gods of the world. I think that's alluded to, that they are the sort of like deities of Sanguo, but that they have always been like out of sight and have never sort of traversed the mortal realm until this prophecy is fulfilled, and they come down from the heavens to assist the chosen one to sort of stave off whatever this
that comes
shadowy nonsense is. Yeah.
The new world. The world new. Now.
Now.
I can't read.
World now.
Amid a budding battlefield, new alliances and factions emerge, with the most formidable contender, Lubu, missing. The race up to the throne escalates as the remaining contenders split into their own factions. Wu, led by Sun Quan and supported by the Sun family, holds the imperial seal, relentlessly searching for the hidden throne and the seal's true purpose. Wei, under Cao Cao, has recently suffered a significant defeat at the hands of Li Bei and her new alliances with Kong Ming, shaken by the power of the possessed. Cao Cao faces a critical dilemma. Will she forsake her morality and pursue the magical grimoire? Meanwhile, the newest faction, Shu, led by Li Bei and her sisters, have felt the tides turn in their favor with the grimoire and Kong Ming's aid. Yet Li Bei is conflicted watching her relationship with Jin unravel as he succumbs to demonic influence.
True.
So we were wrong.
True W. About what?
About Jin's love being Lubu.
Mm.
Clearly it is Li Bei.
Yeah. It seems like Liu Bei is his love interest. And we see a lot of, again, sort of beats that they set up in Mortal Ambition. how this mysterious figure was going around and trying to tempt our heroes, not only the champions from the Grand Archive, but also other people in this world with this magical power that has some sort of demonic influence. And we see that Kongming has been taken by this demonic influence, and that's what we see in her level 3, that she becomes Fel Eidolon or whatever, some sort of demonic nonsense. We obviously see that in Jin as well, becomes immortal and has this sort of edgy red demon energy going on. We see that Cao Cao is now debating whether or not she wants to harness this energy as well, because Liu Bei and Kongming sort of trounced her with this demonic power that she feels like she needs to sort of call upon something additional to have a fighting chance. But it's all been sort of unclear. At least like it seems like so far, right? These people have like sort of retained their humanity. But if we look back to the Regaling Regalia lore article that came out a while ago, there's sort of a beat at the end there where Luxera is describing like worlds that she's been to, and she very clearly describes Sanguo as like the first top of that paragraph. And it refers to the world as having this sort of like innate need for sacrifice in exchange for power that is like sort of unclear to the inhabitants of Sanguo, at least through her eyes. And so it's unclear if like Kongming and Jin or whatever have already made that sacrifice and they're sacrificing their humanity for this sort of demonic power, or if it gets worse than that, and this is just like sort of the the beginning of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
One other thing I do want to mention, I did do a little bit of research because I have to, about Dao Chen, because I don't know who she is, and I was like, who is this character? She's taught, and she's on some card art, but like the flavor text for Dao Chen in any of the card art is like pretty small. There's like not a whole lot about her. In Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Dao Chen is Lu Bu's sort of love interest.
Oh,
and
interesting.
We see her on Heated Vengeance. Lu Bu's like protecting Dao Chen. And at least in Three Kingdoms, and I believe accurate to Grand Archive as well, Dao Chen convinces Lu Bu to kill her foster father, which is Dong Zhou, the false liege, big titty man. We all love Dong.
Yeah.
So Dao Chen is sort of instrumental in getting Dong assassinated, and that is what leads Lu Bu to have this like claim to the throne.
Right.
So I think at least in Grand Archive world, where Dao Chen's going to come in, is Lu Bu seems to be like a pretty big part of this story and this world, but we see in this first sentence of this paragraph that Lu Bu has gone missing. And so it's unclear to me what Lu Bu's doing. Maybe they have some sort of connection to this, mysterious demigod that we'll talk about in a little bit. Maybe that is what happens to Lu Bu, and Dao Chen has to be like somewhat responsible for that, right? As they're sort of a couple. Yeah,
but who takes over for Dong's nightclub?
I don't know. I don't know who's running the
heavy nights.
nightclub. Yeah, Dao Chen, savior of the GA players for getting Dong assassinated, so you all stop opening him. And he's going to be in Abyss 11, I'm sure. I'm going to open my first pack of Abyss 11.
Dawn the
wow,
Dead.
look, it's Dong. Yeah, it's great.
Conflict. Tensions between factions rise as they prepare for the impending battle at Chibi. After rigorous trials and negotiations, Sun Quan agrees to ally with Liu Bei and Kongming in the upcoming battle. Yet the two leaders seem to be unsettled, seeing the effect of the grimoire on Jin. Feeling responsible, Kongming seeks out her mentor, only to find him with his hands stained in blood. With this, a new threat to Sanguo is awakened, forcing former enemies to unite if they hope to defeat a demigod. Time is running out. Gaoja gathers at the Senja, and Kongming must choose a side and face her greatest fears, her own inner demons.
There's a lot to unpack here,
Yeah.
which hopefully we get some answers to. So it's a little bit unclear what's going on. So we have this This like conflict over the throne, right?
Mhm.
And that's what Mortal Ambition was about. This conflict over the throne after Dong dies. There's a this is an empty throne, and all sorts of people want to claim it. Sun Quan, with control over the Imperial Seal, wants to claim it, and Lu Bu wants to claim it, and Cao Cao wants to claim it, I think, or is she working for Sun Quan? So it seems like they sort of like put aside their differences, and they're like, okay, we have to deal with this Jin issue. Jin is becoming sort of a little bit too demonic. It's a bit unclear like why Jin has been so much more adversely affected by this grimoire than Kongming has, because Kongming has also been delving in some demonic powers. But Jin seems to have taken it a little bit too far. Maybe he's just a bit less mentally focused, and lets the demonic power sort of overtake him. So they're like, all right, we got to deal with this Jin issue. Jin's getting a little bit fucking crazy, and he's scaring me a little bit. So it says that Kongming seeks out her mentor. That's the part that I'm a little bit unclear on. So chat, if you know who they're talking about. The sort of the thing that I had in my mind, right, is it doesn't say that Kongming has any sort of like mentorship on Sangguo. She just has this sisterly relationship with Gaocha, right? So the only person that I can see in a like mentorship role is this mysterious figure who presented them with the grimoire in the first place. But at least in Ambi, it didn't seem like that was a sort of mentorship role.
Right.
Seemed like a sort of
like, hey, take my book.
The gate is open, sort of situation, right?
Cringe.
Cringe. I know. So I'm not sure if that's who they're referring to, but whoever Kongming's mentor is makes some sort of sacrifice. We find them with their hands stained in blood. And they're obviously doing some sort of demonic ritual for ungodly amounts of power, right? And this does again call back to that Regaling Regalia article where they do say that there's this like inherent need for sacrifice for power in Sangguo. And so whoever Kongming's mentor is obviously understands this and makes some sort of sacrifice, assumingly not themselves, assumingly somebody else. Maybe it's Lu Bu. Maybe that's where Lu Bu went. She got kidnapped to be sacrificed. Who knows? To become this demigod. I think it would be like kind of crazy if this demigod sort of mysterious figure that we keep talking about is not somebody that we know. Because like otherwise, why wouldn't you just tell us, right? If it's some like Sangguo or like Romance of the Three Kingdoms character, just like tell us who it is, right? But it's all like very shrouded in mystery, which makes me feel like it's going to be this big reveal, right? Like who is this demigod character? And maybe they end up being like the CUR, right? And it's a new champion. They have this, demigod sort of effect.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, hear me out.
Him, though. Does say him.
It does.
Seek him out. So a lot of people, both in chat, are like, oh, maybe it's Merlin. Something that I think I want to sort of remind you guys of is that Merlin, although we love Merlin, well, some of us do, although some people love Merlin,
Cringe.
is not a Grand Archive champion.
Yep.
And so is not sort of this like world hopping person, at least not naturally. So I think we didn't really get a nice, clean conclusion to FTC, but I think Merlin was defeated in FTC, and like Lorraine gets her body back, and Merlin is defeated or whatever.
Right. So after reading all this, I have a theory.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to take a step back real quick and talk about the previous lore article where we got the line where it said the 4 auspicious beasts and they all have a different element. Yeah. Right. So,
they all guard a different ley line.
Right. Yeah. Which implies that there's 4 ley lines on Sangguo. And so far, we know of Terra, we know of Luxem, and we know of Exia, which leaves the 4th one a mystery. I think it's Rai, and I think it's Arcane.
Yeah, I am sort of inclined to agree.
Because he's a mage, which means he would be a mentor to the other mage character. And it is a him.
it's like a pretty short list, right?
Right.
So the only thing I think that sort of dissuades me from that being a shoe-in is that this is supposed to be like a cleric tamer set, and so if it is Rai, that would be cool. It just means that he's going to have like very little support, right? Because like of course they will support the other classes, so there will be mage cards in here, but it just means we're not going to get like a huge bump to arcane, which does feel maybe a little bit weird where he might need it. But I think that Rai, like mechanically outside of the lore, is the sort of deck where if you give him too many tools, he's going to be like giga broken.
Right.
So like maybe they don't want to give him too many
They
tools.
just give him like 5 new cards.
They give him a new level 3 that makes him feel like a little bit less toxic. I think the Rai game plan right now is a little bit cursed, where it's like very feast or famine, right? And so they want to give him somewhere in the middle. But yeah, it's a pretty short list. I think you're pretty spot on that if it's going to be a returning character, like it has to be a returning champion, right? And so we have very few leads if it's not a Sangro character, but I'm like sort of convinced it's not a Sangro character. So we have Rai, right? We have Xander. Xander, not really the demonic power type. He's very, for honor, for justice.
Yeah, my dude's a paladin.
Right.
Weird that he's an assassin.
Yeah. So probably not Xander. We have Tenoris, but Tenoris didn't want to leave. Azoth to do his job, let alone does he want to leave Azoth to help some sort of demonic deities in another world. It seems un-Tony-like. And then we have Vanitas, which I think is a pretty good chance.
I could see a Vanitas, yeah. But what element would he be?
Because
it's just weird, right?
They said a couple of times, and by they I mean Belle. Hi, Belle. I think she said on Twitter, somebody asked her about Vanitas. They were like, "Oh, is Vanitas from the homeworld?" And she was like, "Vanitas is not from the homeworld, but we can't talk about it," which I think is like a little bit strange. That Vanitas has an origin, and he is a champion that can, I assume, do some world hopping, but like we don't know where he's from or like what he's doing, and so like I don't know, could be. I think Rai would be the coolest because like Rai Arcane is sick, and I really like the. Power in my left eye, chaotic energy sort of thing going on. But I would not be surprised to see Vanitas as well.
It'd be cool.
Or Polcock. It's not Polcock.
Vanitas or Rai, definitely the only two that I would think.
Yeah, I don't know.
In chat, Vanitas is the only non-GA champion who can world hop. No, because Tristan does it
as well, and we don't know how Tristan does it, but Tristan is also not a Grand Archive champion.
Correct.
So it's a little bit unclear. Yeah. It's really unclear what Vanitas is, because he's not a Grand Archive champion either, but they give him this, he's like leader of the Obliviate, right? And like, what is the Obliviate? What are they doing? So why were they on Azoth?
Yeah, what organization, and why is there only 3 members and not 13?
Right, yeah. We're sort of in this gray area with, like, thank God for Belle. Thank you for the work that you do. Where previous to Mortal Ambition, all of the conflicts and conclusions of said conflicts in Grand Archive are so unclear.
Correct.
So it's like maybe Vanitas is literally dead. Like, I don't know. It's just like very unclear what happens. If you want to find the lore, you can find the articles on the mothership on jhtcg.com. This that we're talking about specifically is in the product sheet for Abyssal Heaven. But yeah, it's like very unclear what happened to Merlin, what happened to Vanitas.
Right.
So like maybe those conflicts are already solved and we're talking about nothing. What happened to Rai? Maybe Rai's dead. Who knows?
Right.
Like we have no sort of
to me like
conclusion for anything.
Like Xander, Rai, Sylvie, like they don't really seem like they played any role on Cambria.
Right. What's Sylvie doing now? We got to see Sylvie again, and we don't know what she's doing. She's like, oh, I got some fucking slimes.
I found some slimes in the forest. Like what?
So yeah, very interesting stuff for sure. I hope we get some more lore stuff. I really like. We're getting a lot of like sort of like background info, like all of the A and B stuff. Then there's a lot of exposition to cover because the source material is so deep, right? So like the last lore article we got was just like paragraphs about places and about people. And this is as well, here's what these people are doing, here's what's going on with these. But I hope that we get like more like traditional, story about what happens.
Just pay Belle to write a book. I'd read it every single one. I'd pay $35, $50, $60, $100.
That's what I'm saying. She reminded me the other day that they said on the anniversary stream, it was a while ago, that they were writing a light novel for the Azoth lore like a while ago, and it was so shitty that it got canceled. But like, they're not beyond that. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, like,
we'll pay for it.
If you write it, I will buy it.
Yep. We will talk about it. It'll be so much food, dude. We can do a book club.
Oh my God, I would love to do a book club.
Lineage Break Book Club.
That'd be so
Lineage
sick.
Break Book Club. Could be cool. That's all I'm saying.
Did you guys read your chapter this week?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Could be cool. Yeah, we're very excited for the lore. It's super interesting. I find my like favorite part about games like this, especially when I get so invested,
Right, in the characters and the worlds.
So invested is like I want to be invested in my character, and I understand the Grand Archive's like a little bit harder. It's not like Jace and Chandra and stuff, right? Like Jace is not going to be in every set, so you can't like attach yourself to Jace and be like, oh man, I can't wait for the new Jace in the next set and see what's happening with Jace.
Right.
But it is nice to have a connection to your character and what their story is and what they're doing, so that when eventually, especially when it's in regards to these champions from the Grand Archive, we can like revisit them, right? And so we've seen that like a little bit with Sylvie, but again, it was without any sort of lore implications. So like, I would love 5 years from now or whatever that like, Dao Chen comes back or Gauja comes back, right? And we know what they were doing and how their story concluded, right? To sort of like leave the door open for that. So I'm excited to get in touch with some characters, learn some lore.
Yeah, I love the lore.
We love the lore. So
it's so good.
Make sure that you guys show some support for the story writing for Grand Archive. We think it's great, and all of you should read it and care about it more if you don't already. All right, well, man, see, we got through all of it. It's only 1:30. That only took us an hour. That's I think all the stuff, right?
Yeah,
that's
we
all the
touched
stuff
on everything.
And I want to touch Dao Chan. That's what I'm saying.
All characters, right, are of legal age.
Yeah. Officially, all characters are of legal age. For all you fucking cursed degenerates out there.
Yeah.
All right, don't take that the wrong way.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Be tame.
Yeah, be tame. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Anyways, Abyss 11's coming out. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's like fucking forever from now, though. It's
March.
4 months?
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
my God. What am I supposed to do until then?
You know what you can do?
What?
You can buy your Alchemical Revolution Alter Edition and play with 20 new cards.
20 new cards, and they're all Arisana cards, I hear. Every single one. That's crazy.
You can
20 new Astra cards?
Support the community by going to your store championships and regional events.
If you're in Massachusetts, those are in January. That's cool.
Yeah. What's the date of our store championship?
You can play your store championships here in Marlborough, Massachusetts on January 4th. That is the last time ever that you can play the Mortal Ambition format before Alchemical Revolution Alter comes out. And then after that, you can play the new format.
Store championships on January 4th.
Wow.
And then regionals on January 18th at Webway Games in Marlborough, Massachusetts.
Crazy. I'll be there.
I'll be there as well.
So stupid. I can't believe they gave Astra Ghost of Pendragon 2. It draws 3 cards. No downside.
Sick.
Just says on enter, draw 3 cards.
Sick.
Cool.
It costs 1. And it's a pretty girl. She has 2 huge reasons.
Dao Chen's got 2 huge reasons. Oh my God.
Oh.
And listen, I don't. I think it is clear to me who the artist of Dao Chen is. And I know that they are a friend of the show. I did not see them in chat today, though, so I can't accost them. But you know who you are if you watch this. We gotta have some
I
talks.
can neither confirm nor deny.
We gotta have some chats there, friend.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
I'm gonna need lots of things signed and artist proofed, and
CSR's double signed.
No,
Coward.
they look so clean.
Coward.
They look so clean.
Just have
I
them
don't want to
sign
ruin them.
on the gold.
But that's why you get the artist proofs, right? That's my You get the artist proof signed.
You get your foil signed.
Get the pack foil signed. I do both.
Oh my god. Yes.
That's what I did for Ari, and I would love to do it again for my new cleric bestie. So, hey, thank you guys for watching. 2 things that I want to touch on before we leave you. The 2 weeks ago episode should be up today. Shout out to our editor. I just have to hit the go button, so that should be up. If you want to catch the previous episode of the show, you can catch it every Friday, 2 p.m. We had the fortunate chance to interview Mr. host of the Bestial Frenzies podcast, Theodore, also head of organized play for Weebs of the Shore, I guess. And that has not been edited yet, but it will be up probably middle of the week. I have not yet had a day off since coming back from Toronto, so I have not had very much time to do any editing as I'm here at the store. But that'll come up soon. It's not like super long, but we talked with Theo for 30 minutes or something. If you want to catch us here live, as some of you are doing right now, you can do that 12 p.m. EST every Friday, asterisk, that we're here. Hey, Steve, we're going to be here next week?
Hey, we're going to be here next week.
Woo! Give us something to talk about. There was so much to talk about this week that next week we're going to just cry for 30 minutes. We're just going to sit here and sob.
Next week it's going to be our fan fiction day where we're just going to talk about what we want in the lore.
Oh, that's true. That's not true. I can't write. I'd never hire me to write story. I'm terrible at it.
And I suffer from
Kingdom Hearts syndrome.
Kingdom Hearts syndrome, where it's just going to be convoluted and edgy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. That is all we have for you this week. We will see you next week.
Have a good one, guys.
Woo! Woo!
All right. Chat.
That was a weird one.
Now, the most important question.
Dude, Daltron's so hot.
What are we eating for lunch?
She's so hot. Look at that back. You know what I'm saying?
Mordred X Lancelot fanfic.
That was a good move. Thank you. I had Chipotle. Steve hates Mexican food.
I don't hate Mexican food.
He hates it.
We're just so saturated. There's so many.
I'm Mexican pilled for sure.
There's so much of it around where we live. It's just like I get tired of eating the same thing.
I ate cookies and Pop-Tarts for lunch. That's fucked up, dude. That's girl dinner.
I love me some
girl dinner.
A bag of chips and a bottle of wine.
Oh fuck yeah. Girl dinner. Fellow back enjoyer. Yeah, dude. Oh, she's got that back. She's so hot. She's just Sona, right?
She's just Sona.
No, listen, developers. I know you're in the chat. I need some confirmation of art that you didn't draw, but I need your personal opinions. Let's all look at the art for Wisdom Surprise, right? Is that a harp? Like, what is she doing? Is she playing a harp? Is she literally just Sona?
I don't know. I haven't even.
Are we Sona pilled? Is this a League of Legends game?
Mark, when are you and Trent coming in?
Are we getting the League of Legends crossover? Sona skin for Dao-chan? Thoughts? Where is my universes beyond? I want SpongeBob in the Grand Archive.
Okay. We're not waiting for you for lunch then.
Give me
I'm starving.
Spangbob.
Spangbob.
You like Spangbob?
Yeah, you play Magic the Gathering here.
Spangbob. Yeah, dude. Listen. It's been a tough week to be a Magic the Gathering hater. Because I am a known Magic the Gathering hater. And the store is closed right now. So you guys don't, I don't need to keep that on the hush-hush. Usually I have to appease the Magic gamers and be like, wow, SpongeBob's so cool. I'm so happy for you. I don't have to do that here, right? Magic's cringe. However,
Final Fantasy.
Man, those Final Fantasy cards.
My fucking God, I knew it.
Woo!
I knew it. Woo! Woo! Did you see that? The Titus and Yuna? Oh my God. They're kissing.
Slobbering.
Oh, it's so good. That Sephiroth art, so good.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be tough to be a hater. It's tough to be a hater.
I hope none of the characters that I like, I already know
they're all going to be legendaries, bro. Literally all of them.
That's not even what I mean, but just make it like colors I don't like playing.
It doesn't matter. You're going to play them anyways.
I won't. If you make my girl Yoshola a Gruul character, she's going to be black and blue.
Not Gruul? Then die.
I hate red and green.
Buy official Final Fantasy trading card game instead. I played a lot of Final Fantasy trading card game, for those of you that don't know. I was a competitive Final Fantasy trading card game player for a year or two.
Yeah, that game doesn't
and it
exist.
rips.
That game doesn't exist anymore, though.
But they don't care about it. Yeah, like, I can play Magic 3 nights a week at my LGS. I can't fucking play Final Fantasy TCG ever.
Except for when I come in with my structure deck, because I'm not spending cards.
You're not spending cards?
I'm not spending money on cards for a game that no one plays.
I used to have to drive like an hour to go play Final Fantasy and crush people. Crush them. That was okay.
Honestly, let's be real, like, if there was a good Kefka deck, I'd play it, but I ain't getting out of bed unless there's a good Kefka deck.
Yeah,
and I was told that
play Magic. Yeah.
I was told that there was a good Kefka deck like 10 years ago.
Yeah, back in the ye olds.
But Kefka in Final Fantasy, surely he's gonna be sick. He might be a red deck though.
Yeah, maybe.
He just like burned down the
maybe
world.
Red.
Yeah.
They might have Final Fantasy sleeves. The Genshin TCG, are they making that real? It was like very unclear to me if that was coming to not China. Because like they're making a physical League trading card game, and I can't tell you how many people sent me messages that were like, "Oh my God, look what they're doing! They killed Runeterra for this, hooray!" But it's only in China, so like it doesn't matter to me. So like whatever. So like if the Genshin trading card game is also only in China, which is probably true, then I don't care. I'm not that pilled about it.
That is pretty based. Final Fantasy X is the best Final Fantasy.
It's my favorite.
Final Fantasy VI though goes so hard. I love a good villain that's evil just to be evil.
We love that.
That's Kefka.
Yeah.
He's just evil because he wants to be. There's no like motive behind it.
He just likes dressing up like a clown.
He's just a dick, and I'm into it.
Known racist Waka. Listen, he evolves kind of. He kind of gets over his racism.
Him and Rika like best friends.
Yeah, okay.
By the end of that story.
Yeah, all right.
He stops calling her
slurs. Yeah, that's good.
I was going to say, he stops calling her slurs.
Your favorite Final Fantasy game is always your first. That's not true. I think Final Fantasy X is my favorite, but I played 7 before any of those.
I played 4 and 6
I do like 7, though.
I played 4 and 6 before 10. 10 is still my favorite, but I do like 4 and 6 still.
Yeah, very, very much you're one of the good ones type energy, 100%. He, like, kind of gets over it. But like not
Can
really.
we just like not talk about Waka?
Listen,
we're gonna get canceled.
We're not gonna get canceled. We're not defending Waka. You're gonna get canceled for defending Waka.
I'm not defending Waka.
No, you're defending Waka. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm not defending Waka. You're probably a Titus Laugh defender, aren't you?
I am actually, like 100%. That was a choice.
Yeah, it was a wrong.
It was a choice. It was
a
known choice for sure.
It was a wrong.
That was not
choice.
bad direction. It was a choice.
It was sure.
You listen to that scene again. I dare you. I dare you.
I did. Let's play it
because
right now.
After the fake laugh, right? He legitimately laughs, like in that same take, and you can hear it. So you can hear the difference. That it was a conscious choice to fake laugh.
I know it was a conscious choice to fake laugh.
All I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
It's still tough. It doesn't make it any less tough.
Have you seen the difficulty mod that came out for Final Fantasy X recently? No, I have not. What, it makes it harder? I guess that game is like kind of piss easy until you start doing super bosses.
I had a really hard time playing. Well, I didn't. A friend of mine had a really hard time fighting Mecha Seymour on the mountain.
Yeah.
And
he does kind of suck.
That was the first time I played Final Fantasy X. I crushed him into the dirt.
Yeah.
And then when I played through it, Seymour killed me like 50 times the first time you fight him.
The only fight that I remember in that game being hard is the Unalesca fight in Jesus Christ Xanarkand.
Yeah.
The Unalesca fight's like kind of cursed. But
the first Seymour fight's tough if you don't understand how to fight it.
The one on what's the fucking mountain called?
I don't know. The Ronso Mountain.
Yeah. The one on the mountain is also like kind of cursed. I do remember that being like hard, but I don't remember it being like.
You have to for the first time you fight him, you have to keep casting like the what do you call it? the spells that make it so you don't take elemental damage.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
he wipes you.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like if you don't know that when you're doing it, it's
you
just die.
You get creamed for sure. Mount Gagazet, is that right?
it sounds right.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I always call it-
keep wanting to say Meat Gungaga, you know, like that's where my brain goes.
Yeah,
Meat Gungaga.
I just call it the Ronson Mountain.
Are we you guys like Final Fantasy? We're big fans, by the way, in case you guys didn't know that. You know, anyways. Hey, thanks for watching. What are we eating, Steve? You didn't figure that out.
Yeah, no one said anything. It's sandwiches and
They said Chipotle,
cookies
and,
and Pop-Tarts.
sandwiches and Pop-Tarts. You want to eat girl dinner? Girl dinner.
You want to do sush?
Eh,
No, not sush. Well,
not really.
you said no. It's your turn.
Let's eat Chipotle.
Sure.
I can play your game, Steven. You don't tell me that we can't play that game.
And I said sure.
Yeah, you did. Taco Bell.
But honestly, if we're gonna go do Chipotle, we might as well just do Boro because it's better.
That's true. I did have Boro literally yesterday, though.
Well, I don't. I would prefer a Boro over Chipotle.
Well, yeah, surely. Yeah,
So
I'm not eating Chipotle. I'm not a
Okay.
fiend.
Taco Bell was
I would rather die than eat Taco Bell. Not this week, dude.
You don't want the Baja gelato?
I have no fortitude in my body left to ingest literal poison. You know? It's like that scene from that film, you know? Yeah, true.
Princess Bride?
Yeah. See, you got it. You nailed it.
I can poison.
nailed
I
it.
grew a tolerance to it.
You
I
nailed
put it in both cups.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
Inconceivable.
All right. I gotta do stuff. So, hey, thanks for watching, team. I'm gonna let you go. If you guys have any questions about Dao-Chan, send me your questions, and I won't answer them because I don't know anything. But
If you
she's
have,
hot.
if you're in the camp that I am in, and it is Rai is the villain, please give me a thumbs up.
I'll give you a thumb. All right. Goodbye.
Bye. See you later.
We'll see
for
some
the
of you later.
people that'll be here.
And the rest of you, we'll see you next week. Wow.
Whoa.